Hey guys, Moose here. Welcome back to Stonehearth in our, or not Riot's Children, Ascendancy playthrough. Sorry about that. Should have known from all the green. Sorry about that. Someone's making a lot of noise right outside my window. I'm not sure what the hell they're doing, but they're about to get yelled at if they don't go away. Anyway, it is February 20th, which is President's Day in the US, and apparently Family Day in Canada. Let me just double check that according to my phone, because one of NL's videos said it was an earlier... Wait, maybe not in Canada. Okay, Family Day is the 13th in British Columbia, but it appears to be the 20th in the rest of Canada? Very odd. Alberta, Ontario, and Saskatchewan. Well, that's not the rest of Canada, but interesting. So why does British Columbia insist on having it on the 13th? Very strange. Anyway, Family Day in parts of Canada, which probably... Ontario is probably one of the most populous provinces, if I had to imagine. That's where the capital is. It's where Toronto is. Outside of that, you're looking at Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Quebec City, Montreal, and a few other cities. But basically, those are the ones with hockey teams, of course, so... I think the only province, Ontario and Alberta, are the only two provinces with two NHL teams at this point, even though Quebec used to have two, so I'd say the majority of the Canada considers Family Day to be the 20th. So suck on that, NL, suck on that, Ontario, British Columbia. I have no horse in this race. I'm Quebecois, and I'm not even really Quebecois, so disregard. Anyway, on this date in gaming history, we actually had a pretty substantial event here. The PlayStation 4 was announced in 2013 in apparently New York City. Not that I care, but you know, just some background info. It's pretty significant event. I don't think they had any of the... Certainly not that I remember. They didn't have any of the $599 US giant enemy crab Ridge Racer kind of meme shit going on in their announcement. So it was better, I think, but still, you know, I still remember giant enemy crab, and obviously $599 US was ludicrous at the time. It's way too expensive back for the PS3. But things have changed since then. I don't know. I think even today, as a working adult, I don't think I could ever justify a $600 console. And I mean, I'm saying that in a world where we've got PSVR and all this other stuff going around. Yeah, I know. There's stuff that costs much more than that, and yes, I did spend more than that on my desktop, but my desktop can play a hell of a lot more games than a PS3 or 4 can. And it's backwards compatible, as long as you know what you're doing. And I know what I'm doing, and it's a lot more multifunctional as well. So I feel like that higher price is justified, personally. But I understand people don't feel the same way. They're wrong, but, you know, people are entitled to be wrong. And that's okay. And I will continue to argue my perspective as though I am right about everything, even though I am most definitely not. Yeah, there's a lot of, well, no, there's not a lot. I was going to say there's a lot of PS4 games out there that are good that I would want to play, but I'd be lying. I don't really know that many good ones. Most of them exist on other platforms or just that aren't that appealing to me. But definitely FF15 is a major selling point. Having said that, I feel like it would be a better game on PC, but I could say that about anything. Dragon Quest Builders obviously is up there. That's a pretty fun game. I tried to kind of do it on the channel, but it just wasn't working for me, so I did it a bit on Twitch and on the channel, and then kind of let it go. It just wasn't feeling it. It's hard to explain. I know it looks bad from an outsider's perspective when that kind of thing happens, but I think it's somewhat part of the business. Sometimes your heart's not going to be in it. And especially, like, later on I could force myself to do it, because it would be, hopefully at some point, though probably never, primary employment, and I could just focus on doing that and not worry about everything else. But when you're doing this after working all day and everything else that goes into living life, it's tough to sit down and say, you know, I don't really feel like playing this. Particularly, I don't really feel like making content for this, which is a little bit harder for DQB because you're more looking at actually explaining stuff rather than just kind of passively playing it. It's not really a game where I can just do commentary like with Stonehearth. Stonehearth is much easier for that because it's frankly very simple. But DQB doesn't really work for that from my perspective, so I had a little bit more trouble with it. Might go back to it at some point. Especially if there's a second one, I'm going to try again and try to get more into it. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad because it was something that I really wanted to make a big part of the channel, and it just wasn't working for me. So, one day, we'll find one of those games. That's a real difficulty with it because I'm sort of trying to figure out, I don't want to make this all about YouTube and industry stuff, but I'm trying to figure out... Alright, these guys getting messed up. I fucking hate archers. This just makes me hate archers even more than I already did. Why didn't that trap trigger? He's literally standing on it. Alright, military, please show up. Kill the healer. They're not showing up. Okay. Let's try this one more time. That's enough of you. Of course, it's not enough if you don't actually listen to the order. There we go. That should do it. Alright, we're good. That did not really work out as planned, but I think it's working okay now. What are you doing? Why are you not healing? You're a worker. Where's our clerics? Oh, you guys decided to join the fight. Good for you. Alright, well they're killing the healer on their own, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, that worked out. But yeah, not to make this all about YouTube, but the one thing I'm really having trouble with is that you can't really tell if a game is going to work for you until after it comes out. But doing content mainly, other than that, I'm kind of in a holding pattern. No, that's not fair to say. It's better than a holding pattern, don't get me wrong. But to a degree, I'm basically just kind of doing commentary here. Like, the games I'm playing are not brand new. So, you know, early access for sure, other than Darkest Dungeon, but they're not brand new. You know, they're not from nowhere. It's not like I'm taking a game that just came out and being like, hey, yeah, everyone's searching for this, so come check out my content for it. I'm not doing that. And that is one way to get a lot of views, and that's where it's kind of tough, because it's easy to say, hey, that looks interesting, I'd like to play that. It's hard to say, I am for sure going to like playing that enough to do significant amounts of content for it. And that's kind of where I'm struggling right now. DQB was a missed opportunity for me, to be sure, simply because my heart really wasn't in it. And if it was, I could have done much more off of it. Some of my highest view videos are from DQB, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't work. But anyway, enough about that. PS4, this date, 4 years ago, 2013. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Still a current console too. We don't even know, like, we have the Switch coming, but we don't actually have any idea of anything coming for Sony, do we? I think it's just this, pretty much, for a while now. I mean, we have the PS Pro, which I actually kind of want to get pretty much exclusively for FF15, but that's besides the point. Yeah, that's probably not a good investment, is it? But hey, you know, I want it, and if I can make enough money off YouTube to comp that off my taxes, then so be it. Probably not going to happen, though. I have to make a lot more money than I am right now for that to actually pan out, so I'm not sweating it. Oh, we already have... Okay, we're already baking bread. I'll just make 25 more then. Okay, where's the invasion? Nowhere. Okay. Must have been over the wall. What other good games are there for the PS4? I mean, I'm kind of tempted to check out like the FF Anthology collection for the 30th anniversary, which should be coming out any day now. Haven't seen any more details about that, but it's something I'd like to pick up. It's probably going to be way too much money, but I like how it looks. I like all the stuff that comes with it. It's not even exclusively for me. It's also something that I think Karen would really probably not actually care about having, but maybe. It'd be fun to have. It'd be like a, not heirloom, but just kind of like, hey, we have this. This is a, this is something we have kind of situation. Which is interesting, I guess, but I understand that being kind of lame. Because it's really purely just like a fanboyish thing. I'm not even really an FF fan that much, but yeah, it'd be fun to have. I don't know. I don't know why I think that would be fun to have. Most collector's editions I don't give a shit about, but for whatever reason I kind of would like to pick up the Final Fantasy Anthology. I haven't played most of them. I kind of feel like it's maybe I want it because it's sort of like a money where your mouth is moment where I've kind of talked shit about the FF series and I don't actually care for most of it. But I've only really played, let's see, what have I played? I played 15, obviously, 11 and 14, obviously, but those are MMOs, so I don't really count that. Then we've got 10 I played, most of. I didn't do any, like, the collectibles stuff, and I, like, the side questy kind of things, and I don't think I fully finished the main story, because I was so just annoyed by how stupid the story was, I guess, that I didn't really feel like playing it much more than I already had. But I don't really want to play 7. I'd like to play 9, 12, and like 1 through 6, maybe. So basically everything but 7. And 10. I guess that's basically what I'm saying, isn't it? Everything but 7, 10, and 13. I don't really care for 13 either. But 12, I think, had a pretty cool system. Yeah, it would be really great is if it actually included... Does the anthology that they've proposed only include the numbered ones? Because it'd be really awesome if it also included, like, Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Advance and all that. Even better if they were, like, ported for the PS4, so you could play them all on the console. Because there's a reasonable chance that I'm moving somewhere that, like, I have an actual living room, and it'd be pretty awesome to have that kind of stuff just to be able to sit down and play on the couch. That'd be fun. Probably not going to happen, but it'd be fun. What else is there for PS4? I feel like every once in a while I look through their catalog. What the hell is this wolf doing? Yeah, you're not very ferocious. You don't seem to be able to understand where your enemies are, but I'm not going to complain about that. I feel like periodically I look through the PS4 catalog trying to find stuff that appeals to me, and I just can't. Really, dude? You want to fight all the way up here? You found your buddy? Alright, well, this should be fine. The archer's gonna mess him up well enough that we don't need to worry about healing here. Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, I feel like I periodically look through it and then just say, like, okay, well, there's some... there's Destiny. Is Destiny on the Xbone? I feel like it probably is. That seems like a multi-console kind of thing, but it could be PS4 only. I actually have Destiny. It came with the PS4 when I bought it. Not really by choice, but I bought a used one from a friend, and he had Destiny, so I got Destiny, because what's he going to do with it if he doesn't have a PS4? So I could play it, but given I've had like 6 months to do it, I just haven't done it, because I have no desire to. That should give you an idea of my level of interest in that game. It just seems like it's... Even if the game itself was good, and I don't know that it is, it just kind of doesn't seem appealing in any way. I can't really speak to why. It's just, for whatever reason, it doesn't appeal to me at all. What was the game? There was another game that was kind of like it, I think. Oh, what was it? God, there was a recent one. Not like I want to say it's supposed to be Borderlands E as far as obviously not setting and style, but some of the details like, you know, you get guns and they're somewhat randomized and you know, that kind of thing, but man, I thought there was a more recent game that it was similar to and I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, the only thing I know for sure is I don't really feel any particular desire to play that series at all. It seems a little nickel and dimey too with how many different little things they put out for additional content. Is kind of like, to a degree that's fine, I don't really have an issue with it, but I feel like if you're putting out that much, you've probably fucked up somewhere along the line and done something shady, so I'm not really that inclined to buy into it, I suppose. Don't really need more clay. Let's try looking at stone here. Sure, let's get some more. Military is not following my orders anyway, I might as well do some mining. God, there's gotta be something else, right? I know there's the, like, whatever Killzone or whatever the hell it was called, the PS4 FPS that's kind of like the answer to Gears of War. Really no desire to play that. So I'm really, like I've talked about this before, I really don't think shooters make sense on consoles unless we're talking about super arcadey stuff that you're not meant to take seriously, like a Time Splitters or something like that. Those, otherwise they just don't make sense in the modern era. You probably want to be doing that kind of thing on PC. So what does that leave? Not really anything that I can remember. Okay. I hope these kill him, but he looks like one of the tougher dudes, so maybe he won't. Alright, well he's fucked. That did a lot more damage than I expected. Lovely. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. Like, maybe there's some other RPGs that I kind of want to pick up. Like, oh, Persona series might be interesting. Karen's been talking about Persona 5. I'd probably like to pick that up. I'm not super into it, but it'd be fun to play. I'm not opposed to trying it. I don't really get that many opportunities to play RPGs on PC, obviously. They're not really around much. What else is there? There's got to be more stuff than just RPGs, because that's all I'm coming up with. Like, I'm thinking different, like, is Star Ocean still a thing? I hear that come up a lot. Might try that, because I really don't know anything about it. Oh shit, we need to get that going. There's got to be other stuff, though. It can't just be RPGs, right? Most of the other stuff is just kind of like, it exists on the console, but it's also on the PC, so why would I ever buy it on the console? That's kind of the largest category of PS4 games for me. Yeah, I can't really think of much else. But, anyway, that is going to have to do it for today's episode. As the PS4 gets ready, it's nearly there to turn, at least for the Japanese release date, to turn 3 years old. As it came out in Japan, I believe, on February 22nd, and it was announced in New York on February 20th, 4 years ago today. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will join us for the next episode as well. Take care.